Ciao and welcome as we take a walk across the most beautiful bridge in the Eternal City, the Ponte Sant'Angelo. We're standing at the southern end, on the left bank of the Tiber River. Ahead of you, spanning across the muddy green waters, is a runway of shimmering white marble. And anchoring the entire view at the far end is the massive, circular fortress of Castel Sant'Angelo, topped by a bronze angel sheathing his sword. It is one of the most iconic, postcard-perfect vistas in all of Europe. Before we start to cross the bridge, let's talk about its history. It was originally built in the year 134 AD by the Roman Emperor Hadrian. Back then, it wasn't an entry point to the Vatican. It was Hadrian's private grand driveway leading straight across the river to his final resting place, that massive circular mausoleum right ahead of us. In ancient times, it was called the Pons Aelius, named after Hadrian's family name, Aelius. Remarkably, 3 of the central stone arches underneath the bridge are the exact same ones the ancient Romans built nearly 1,900 years ago. Talk about Roman engineering. But as the centuries rolled on, the Roman Empire collapsed, and the popes took over the city. Hadrian's tomb was converted into a heavily fortified castle, connected to the Vatican by a secret wall. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, this bridge became a crucial funnel for millions of dusty, weary pilgrims who had walked from all corners of Europe to visit St. Peter's Basilica. It wasn't always this serene, though. In the 1400s and 1500s, the popes used the entrance of this bridge as a public execution site. If you were a criminal or a heretic, your head might end up on a pike right here as a subtle welcome to the Holy City, warning to travelers. By the 1660s, Pope Clement IX decided the bridge needed a spiritual makeover. He wanted pilgrims to experience a Via Crucis, or a Way of the Cross, as they approached the sacred ground of the Vatican. So, he hired Gian Lorenzo Bernini to design a theatrical procession of 10 magnificent, wind-swept angels, each holding an instrument of Christ's suffering, known as the Arma Christi. Before we meet the angels and start to cross the bridge, let's greet the 2 heavy hitters guarding the entrance. On your left stands St. Peter, carved by Lorenzetto in 1534. You can easily spot Peter, because he is holding the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The inscription at his base translates to, "Here is the reward of the faithful." Peter looks solid, grounded, and ready to check your ticket to paradise. On your right stands St. Paul, sculpted by Paolo Romano. Paul is holding a massive sword. While he didn't use a sword in life, it represents how he died. He was beheaded by the Romans, and the cutting truth of his words. His base reads, "Here is the Doctor of Truth." Give the saints a nod, and let's walk past them to begin the angelic zigzag. The narrative of Christ's passion unfolds as you alternate looking from right to left, moving forward. Walk a few paces forward to the first pair of angels, standing on the parapets. Look to your right. This angel, sculpted by Antonio Raggi, is holding a heavy stone pillar. This represents the column where Jesus was bound and scourged. Notice the incredible movement in the marble. The angels' robes look like they are actively blowing in a fierce Mediterranean wind. Bernini's genius was teaching his students how to turn solid stone into fluid, floating silk. The inscription translates to, "My throne is upon the column." Now, look across to your left. Sculpted by Lazzaro Morelli, this angel holds the leather scourges used during the trial. Look closely at the angel's face. There's a deep, mournful sorrow etched into the marble. The contrast between the beautiful, serene heavenly being and the brutal instrument of torture in its hands is pure Baroque drama. It was designed to pull at the heartstrings of the 17th century pilgrim, and it still works today. Let's continue on over the bridge, toward the center of the river. The Tiber flows beneath us, carrying centuries of Roman history out to the sea. Stop at the next pair of angels. Look to your right. This angel, carved by Cosimo Fancelli, displays the holy cloth. According to Christian tradition, a woman named Veronica wiped the sweat and blood from Jesus' face on his way to Calvary, and his image miraculously transferred onto the fabric. The angel holds the marble veil up proudly, showing the invisible imprint to the passing crowd. Now look over to your left. This is one of the absolute masterpieces of the bridge. The Pope originally asked Bernini himself to carve this one. Bernini's version was so beautiful that the Pope decided it was too precious to leave out in the rain, so the original was kept indoors. You can see it today in the church of St. Andrea della Fratte nearby. This is a brilliant copy carved by Paolo Naldini under Bernini's watchful eye. Look at how delicately the angel holds the sharp crown of thorns, almost as if he's trying not to hurt himself, gazing down in profound contemplation. Keep strolling. By now, you're roughly in the middle of the Tiber. Take a moment to look up ahead at the fortress. It's getting bigger, grander, and more imposing with every step. Now look at the third pair of angels. On your right, sculpted by Girolamo Lucenti, this angel holds the heavy iron spikes used for the crucifixion. The angel holds them open in his hands, presenting them directly to you as you walk past. The inscription reads, "They shall look upon me whom they have pierced." Look to your left. Paolo Naldini gives us an angel holding the seamless robe of Christ. But look closely at the base of the statue. Do you see the dice? The Roman soldiers didn't want to tear the expensive tunic, so they literally gambled and shot dice for Jesus' clothes while he was on the cross. The angel looks down at the garment with a mix of grief and disbelief at this human pettiness. Continue on to the next set of angels. We are nearing the northern bank now. The air feels a bit different as the shadow of the great castle draws closer. Let's look at the fourth pair. Look to your right. Ercole Ferrata sculpted this angel bearing the massive wooden cross. What makes this statue so remarkable is the physics of the art. The angel isn't just holding the cross. He is straining under its weight, his body leaning into the wind, perfectly capturing the physical burden of the story. Look to your left. This is the second statue that Bernini personally carved himself. And just like the other, this is a masterful contemporary copy. The angel holds the scroll, or the sign that was placed above Jesus' head on the cross that mockingly read, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." Notice the sheer elegance of the drapery here. It looks like a snapshot frozen in time, capturing the exact second the wind caught the angel's robes. As we approach the northern end of the bridge, we're right at the threshold of the fortress. Let's look at the final two angels who conclude our spiritual runway. Look to your left. Domenico Guidi's angel holds a sponge on a reed. According to the Gospels, when Jesus cried out in thirst, a soldier dipped a sponge in cheap sour vinegar wine and lifted it to his lips. The angel holds it aloft, a bittersweet final gesture of mercy mixed with mockery. Finally, on your right, the last angel, sculpted by Domenico de Rossi, holds the lance that a Roman centurion used to pierce Christ's side to ensure he had passed. The angel's face looks upward toward the sky, signaling the completion of the sacrifice and the transition from death to resurrection. Step off the marble bridge and onto the northern bank. You've made it across the Tiber. Now, turn around for just a moment and look back at the path you traveled. You've just walked through an outdoor theatrical art gallery designed by the greatest minds of the Baroque era, built on top of a foundation laid by an ancient Roman emperor. Now, turn back around and look straight up to the very top of Castel Sant'Angelo. That bronze figure up there is the Archangel Michael. Legend has it that in the year 590 AD, a terrible plague was ravaging Rome. Pope Gregory the Great led a solemn, prayerful procession across this very bridge. When he looked up at Hadrian's mausoleum, he saw the Archangel Michael standing on the summit, dramatically sheathing his bloody sword. The Pope took it as a divine sign that the plague was over, and lo and behold, it was. In gratitude, the fortress was renamed Castel Sant'Angelo, or the Castle of the Holy Angel, and the bronze statue of Saint Michael the Archangel has been watching over the bridge ever since. Whether you're heading into the castle to explore its dark dungeons and lavish papal apartments, turning left to walk toward the grand embrace of St. Peter's Square, or stopping along the Tiber for a glass of wine, you've just experienced one of the most historic short walks in the world. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and buon viaggio!